A very good evening and a warm welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this 24th day of September 2022. I'm Lauryn Kazimoto and Muhammad Mugalun Sign Language Interpretation. We bring you tonight's newscast live from headquarters here on Nile Avenue. Now we start off with our first headlining story this evening. The Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, has cautioned the public against politicizing the Ebola crisis, which she says is real and needs vigilance and medical action. Now, the minister, accompanied by several partners like UNICEF, was addressing local leaders at Mubende district headquarters. Now, this comes at a time when the number of Ebola patients at Mubende Regional Referral Hospital has reached 31. Take a look at the story.
The people spreading false information must be cautioned, because we will make our people die when we can save lives. I even heard already, some people are already saying there is no Ebola in Uganda. It is because COVID has gone down, so these people in the ministry are already looking for money. So Jane Acheng sat with the permanent secretary and said, let us create Ebola. I don't create Ebola, I don't like it. Nobody likes Ebola, because Ebola is life and death. And my humble request to the media, please allay the anxiety of the communities. They need to keep calm. If we are not calm and people begin to run away, we shall end up with the whole country in danger. Allay anxiety. We are not restricting movements. We are not restricting movements. We are not closing markets. I heard somebody on radio today, and that was Barbara again, that shops are closed. People are not allowed to move where. I was listening. We have not said closed markets. Markets are open, shops are open. But when we get in a confirmed case anywhere, and there are more than 2 or 3, there are measures that we must take, and the community will be informed accordingly.
Right now, the Minister in charge of Information, Communication and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomonsi, has denied allegations that Uganda Broadcasting Corporation risked to be switched off from satellite over unpaid accumulated arrears. The minister says government is stepping in to bail out the station. We have more in this report.
Yes, in the past, UBC has suffered financial challenges, but it will not be switched off. It will not be switched off. If it has any debts that has accumulated as it carries out work, government will have to support UBC and clear those debts, because it is our official channel through which we reach out the population of Uganda. And the UBC must remain a priority for the government of Uganda. So those stories are uncalled for. I know because of COVID and other related challenges, we have had some financial stress as a country, like many other countries, which stress could have affected budgets of different institutions, including UBC, but this will be sorted out. This will be sorted out.
Right now, the chairperson of Lieutenant General Muhoozi fans says no stone will be left unturned in the quest to popularize their leader of choice. Albert Okwara disclosed this with an interview with the UBC News crew. Take a look.
Fans of the Land Forces Commander, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, are on a countrywide tour popularizing the general among the public. The initiative chairperson, Albert Okwara, describes Muhoozi as one of the iconic leaders essential for the country's continuity.
We got a vision in him that he would be the best candidate to keep that continuity of peace, unity and development brought in by the NRM in this government of President Museveni. And when you come to General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the youths have a total support in him. The youths have a belief in him, since we are now considering him as our generational leader.
Okwara hails from Bukoli North constituency, an area he says is struggling with poor roads, health centers with no medicine, among other shortages. He says the situation is aggravated by what he refers to as a grassroots level leadership gap.
People of Bukoli North constituencies support so much President Museveni, support NRM, but the only issue is one: the service delivery. People of Bukoli North constituency, but with the support President Museveni as a total support.
Muhoozi's fan base is a volunteer group of youth who support him and his cause for the youth. Ali Kamlegea Asaba, UBC News.
A joint plan on how to improve Uganda's health security capacity aimed at preventing, detecting and responding to public health issues has been rolled out. The joint health plan is to be spearheaded by the Office of the Prime Minister in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and other government agencies.
The third Deputy Prime Minister Rukia Nakadama has launched a joint health plan during an event held at Ride Hotel in Mukono district. Nakadama urged the public to avoid cross-contact with animals, to avoid being affected by animal diseases like Ebola.
Some of the places, if we go to our places there, we find that some people are sleeping with animals in the same house. I don't know whether you are aware of that. When we go down there, we find them occupying the same house.
Nakadama assured Ugandans that as government, they have all the mechanism to fight the increasing Ebola cases.
We should not be tempted to hold discussions about the security and preparedness on the back burner until the next crisis arises. We must be vigilant in the threat across the borders in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Tanzania, and the globe for all public health emergencies, and in addition to building our safer and more secure future through advocacy and investment.
The Commissioner on Moraz Bandari under the Ministry of Agriculture, Tashorele Barireme, says it's very important for all government organs to work together in the campaign against disease outbreak.
To make sure that whatever activity, like the ones we have put across, must be well coordinated, that no one should move as an no one should move alone. That is when we shall achieve almost. We shall achieve 100% of all what we have done.
So we are here to reflect and also to be of commitment to making sure that outbreaks like the ones that was announced a few days ago will not cause a threat to our lives and to the livelihoods of our communities.
Makerere University Infectious Disease Institute, led by Dr. Nabukalu Immaculate, justified the Joint Health Plan initiative as a measure to counter infectious zoonotic diseases.
Mu bino byonna bye tukola tugezaako okulaba nti ensinga yo yeetegeka ng'ekwatagana ne minisitule ez'enjawulo n'ebitongole ebirala eby'enjawulo n'abo abatuwa ssente batutandise n'eza gavumenti okulaba nti tukola ebintu ebyo ebimu ebinyweza oba ebitubangula tuteerawo embeera esobola okuwangulwa okwewala endwadde zitangira.
Deborah Namamonde, Basilica Sharon, UBC News.
Residents of Nabotiti Zone, Kansanga in Makindye are suspicious that their fellow colleague Shamira Nakato might have passed on due to Ebola. They allege she had signs and symptoms related to Ebola.
Government through the Ministry of Health recently announced the outbreak of Ebola after some victims medically tested positive of Ebola virus disease.
Zudde abarwadde bana abapya abakakasibwa okubeera n'ekirwadde kya Ebola ate kino kireetedde omuwendo olw'abalwadde kugenda ku 11. Mu update endala abantu 3 bafudde ekirwadde kino ekya Ebola.
It is against this background that Nabutiti residents in Kansanga got suspicious of Shaima Nakato, their fellow resident, that she might have passed away due to Ebola infection.
Bantegeeza nti nno ali bubi nnyo, afunye obuzibu, avudde mu nnyumba ye nga asesema musaayi n'omulago muyita mu nnyindo. Naye olw'okuba nali nkiwuliddeko nti nno bwe bumu ku bubonero bwa Ebola naye nkityamuko nange.
Adde naye ebbanga ddene bwagenda n'atunda ebikajjo bya naye buli lwava wano n'ajja eyo alina okuntuukirira.
Nabutiti Zone Chairperson Abduzira Balutai asserts that Nakato, who was also his tenant, had Ebola-related symptoms, prompting them to call the police to take her body to Mulago Referral Hospital.
Yavudde mu nnyumba mwabadde asula ne banne 2 ng'asesema musaayi. N'adduka wano wennyini wentudde we yagudde. Ogenda okutuuka okugwa wano ng'afudde. Yayogedde ebigambo nga 2 nti bannange munnyambe. Olw'okuba yabadde avaamu omusaayi mungi, abantu basoose kwekanga ne bakola ki? Ne beesega ne badduka. Bwe yagudde wansi n'afiira wano wennyini wentudde wano. Poliisi nejja n'aba State Council ne bamuggyako sample ne baluddewo nnyo okusobola okutwala omulamu. Bamaze essaawa kumpi nga 8 kuba omuntu yafudde ku ssaawa 2 nga n'ekitundu ez'okumakya, bamugye wano ku ssaawa kumpi 10 n'ekitundu ne bamutwala e Mulago.
Amina Najumba, who was staying with Nakato, told UBC that the late battled cough and pains for some months since her return from the village.
Embeera nayo okumala myezi nga 3 naye obulwaddeyo yabufuna kumala myezi nga 2 emabega. Yabufuna ava kulaba bakadde be bambi, yali agenze kukyalirako ku bakadde be kulaba bulwadde buluma taata we na maama we nabo bali balwadde emabega. Naye ng'akomyewo yakomawo akolola nnyo, ng'era bw'aba akolola n'ekifuba kyambuka bwe kiti yenna ng'ayambuka era ng'akololera ddala. Nengezaako ne mugamba gendako mu basawo bakebera obulwadde obukuluma aba bakukyusize ku ddagala.
The Minister of Health Public Relations Officer Emmanuel Ainebiona assured the country that the ministry is doing laboratory tests to establish whether Nakato succumbed to Ebola.
We are waiting for the outcomes of the lab test. We will give you details either later or tomorrow.
Nakato survives with 1 young boy, and her body will be ready to rest at her ancestral home at Budondo village Luka in Busoga. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC News.
Very sad story right there. Now moving on, the former Kabaka of Buganda, Sir Edward Mutesa Luwangula II was the 35th Kabaka of Uganda and the first president of newly independent Uganda up to 1966. Now his reign as ceremonial president started in 1963, a year after independence, till 1966 when he was ousted by his former ally and Prime Minister Dr. Apollo Milton Obote. As Uganda prepares to celebrate 60 years of independence, UBC brings you Uganda's pioneer president, who was also the 35th Kabaka of Uganda, Sir Edward Mutesa II.
Sir Edward Frederick William David Walugembe Mutebi Luwangula Mutesa II was the 35th Kabaka of the Kingdom of Buganda in Uganda from the 22nd of November in 1939, and was the post-independent ceremonial president of the Federal Uganda. In 1962, Uganda became independent from Britain under the country's new independent federal constitution.
In the new Africa, one more independent country, the state of Uganda. At Entebbe Airport, Prime Minister Milton Obote and His Highness the Kabaka wait to greet the Britannia, which brings the Duke of Kent to represent the Queen at the Independence celebration.
The Kingdom of Buganda became a semi-autonomous part of the new Uganda Federation. Dr. Milton Obote, with his party, the Uganda People's Congress, reached a deal with Mutesa to support his election from government in a parliamentary system of election inherited from Great Britain.
So the traditional gestures have a real meaning of friendship.
In a session of parliament on 4th October 1963, Mutesa was elected president via secret ballot with the support of over 2/3 of the members. The federal prime minister was Obote, the leader of the Uganda People's Congress UPC, which entered a governing coalition with the dominant Buganda region party, the Kabaka Yekka.
Canoes from all along the coast and islands of Lake Victoria take part. Victoria, the third largest lake in the world.
In the government, Sir Edward Mutesa, as ceremonial president, under his party, the Kabaka Yekka, held mostly insignificant portfolios, while Obote obtained control of the security services and armed forces, executive powers to form cabinet, hire and fire, which act Buganda.
Sir Edward Mutesa arrived and took the salute, while the national anthem was played by the Uganda Police Band.
Despite Mutesa's position as ceremonial president, in 1966, Obote suspended the federal constitution and declared himself president of Uganda in February 1966, deposing Mutesa II into exile.
The people of England have made this share of warmth, of extension of friendship towards me on my arrival. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, please understand that I'm terribly harassed.
While in exile, Mutesa died of alleged alcohol poisoning in his London flat, number 28 Orchard House in Rotherhithe, 1969. Mutesa too lived for 45 years as a royal, 3 years of which he spent as Uganda's president and 3 other years in exile till he met his fate. Join me on the next episode as we profile another fountain of honor. Meet the president.
Thank you so much, Wadulu Mark Arnold, for that exquisite report. Now, UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we'll return with business stories after these messages.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and the ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show, because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Stay connected. connected on the largest 4G network in Uganda using the Airtel 4G Pocket MiFi at only 75,000 Uganda shillings. It comes with 15 GBs free, valid for a month. You can connect up to 10 of your friends and family at a go. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get one today or call 0800 333 330 for free delivery within Kampala. Dial *175 *9# to activate free 15 GBs. Airtel, the smartphone network.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
The back-to-school hustle today. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees.
Select to pay using Bridge Schools, School Pay or Beg Pay.
Select option 1, pay fees. Enter student number. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN number to complete payment. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Fellow Ugandans, did you know that we are losing wetlands at an alarming rate? Wetlands are the most threatened ecosystems, disappearing 3 times faster than the forests. Dear ones, we risk losing species to extinction and a lot of wetlands at maintaining our environment. Let us all be concerned, conserve and restore our wetlands. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Water and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Uganda National Meteorological Authority, in partnership with the Interreligious Council, with support from Government of Uganda, Green Climate Fund, and the United Nations Development Programme.
Yo! Airtel is giving you bigger data bundles for the same price. Dial *175# to choose from our range of bigger Chillax bundles that don't expire and stay connected longer to loved ones. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that break, and now into the business scene. A number of politicians are calling for support to the East African crude oil pipeline project debate that was sparked off by the EU Parliament that is being accused of interference in Uganda's internal matters. The European Union debate seeks to delay the construction of the oil pipeline over concerns of alleged human rights abuses and non-compensation where the infrastructure is expected to pass.
There are reports alleging that the European Union wants the East African crude oil pipeline project delayed. This has sparked off mixed debate from different politicians and other Ugandans. The District 2-man Member of Parliament, Amolata Dr. Agnes Atim Apea, wants Ugandans to rally support on the project, saying it's an opportunity to improve people's livelihoods.
So for me, I think the discussion we're having now is really a political discussion, and we are saying let's remove the issue of politics from the oil. Let's remove the issues of politics for issues that affect the sovereignty of our country. And I think, yeah, for me, that's my view, really, that this is the issue about our country, we have systems that can address all those issues that has been raised. Most of the issues that were raised are actually already overtaken by events. What we need as a country is to be patriotic, to stand up for what will benefit our people and as a country. Let's leave politics out of the issue of oil.
Appiah says the environment challenges and other human rights activities that the EU has raised have been addressed by the government of Uganda.
Yes, the European Union, the European Union motion highlights issues of human rights, issues of environmental concern, and issues of civil society. But I think what we are talking about is that as Ugandans, for once, this oil pipeline is about an economic empowerment issue. It is a livelihood issue for our people. It is a job creation issue for our people, and it is a poverty eradication issue for our people.
There are over 3,000. There are 3,648 affected persons, and not the 100,000 that the European Union resolution pointed to. Of the 3,648 affected persons, only 4% across both Tanzania and Uganda are going to be displaced. In other words, are going to have their houses moved to another place. So the majority, over 97%, 98% of the project affected persons are only affected economically.
The 1,445-kilometer oil pipeline project by 2025, when the first drops of Uganda's oil is expected to start flowing. The Parliament of Uganda has already challenged the EU Parliament on their planned resolutions, while the East African Legislative Assembly is also preparing to respond. Sada Mubale, UBC News.
October Bidel Musaba Gardens Mukono, October Mukaga Millennium Gardens Saziwaya, October Munanaji Montelembara, 10 October, 40 Poto Muchisawe, Abidim Bi October, Bale Sports Center, Umtuano Kumo, Yebem Tuale Santo, a meza million more, Wababa Tuano Kumia, Abana Gula tickets of Akosa M10 Momo, Banjagusa Sulan Comitano, Bidamina Romo Center, Hiva Motors, Galaxy FM, Radio 4, Kagwina War, TN.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full. We lost loved ones, jobs, and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet and only you, the owner, have access to it.
Just dial *185 *10 hash and now you are on. No waiting. Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today.
No mixing your business money with your Kameza money.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back, and now into the sports scene. The 16th edition of the Interforces Games have been launched in the Queen Elizabeth Conservation Area, Kasese District. Now these games are aimed at creating unity between the forces and the communities to curb crime. This is in addition to talent development, among other reasons.
The
The 16th edition of the Interforces Games is going on in Queen Elizabeth Conservation Area, Kasese District. The games started with a community run that attracted all genders in Uganda People's Defence Forces, prisons, police and Uganda Wildlife Authority. Annette Chelengat from Uganda Wildlife Authority females and Kiprotich Martin from Uganda Police males emerged winners of the 8 and 10 kilometer race, meant to be used as a tool for building unity in the execution of their duties.
Competition is going to come in to spice these activities and the higher good. And I can assure you, nobody has come here to be one. We have come here to win. We know our colleagues in the prisons, they have athletics, they Kiprotich, but we also have our own Kiprotich.
The Interforces Games were ushered in by a march through the national park that was preceded by a tree planting campaign in the outskirts of Katwe town. The Director Finance Uganda Wildlife Authority, Jimmy Mugisa, represented the Executive Director.
So as we go into the games, much as it is a competition, the idea of sportsmanship still rules as paramount. In every game or competition, there are winners, there are losers, so we will have that kind of understanding.
Uganda Wildlife Authority has a home advantage to excel in the Interfaces Games.
We want to try as much as possible to make sure that we retain most of the trophies. We don't want to host and then people take away the trophies. So we are prepared to make sure that they come, we compete, we will demonstrate what we call sportsmanship and fair play.
The other forces are also determined to use their field experiences to win as many events as it is practically possible.
And to work together, we learn how each team operates and we work within that. So to us, it will strengthen our togetherness, it will create friendship among the forces. We don't expect to see the bad instances that have been happening between the forces because this creates brotherhood.
The forces are competing in shooting range, football, netball, darts, volleyball, taekwondo, athletics and so on.
All right, now UBC News Tonight has come to an end, but we do join us for 10 o'clock bulletin with more stories with me, Lauryn Kazimoto, and Muhammad Mugalu on sign language interpretation. We will see you at 10.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7